everyone. If you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to a plan with me. I am going to be planning out next week's library lessons. So it is currently Friday, September 22nd. So I am planning out the lessons for September 25th through 29th. Now, I already know what books I'm going to be reading to the students because I am currently in the midst of reading the award nominees for the state of Missouri. So I did write down, if you can see here, a list of the books for pre-K and kindergarten and the dates that I'm going to be reading those. And then I did the same thing for the books for first and second grade. So I did that earlier in the week, and now I'm just going to go through and put them into the planner. So for pre-K and kindergarten next week, we are going to be reading this one right here, which is Shh, the Baby's Asleep. This is by Janae Brown Wood and illustrated by Ilisambura. I'll have to look up how to pronounce that, but that's the book. And then for first and second, we are going to be reading Norman Didn't Do It. Yes, he did. So that's the one that we're just going with. I did have to get this one from the county library because the librarian who was here last year did not get the building block books ordered because the list comes out quite late, but she did order the majority of the Show Me nominees, of which this is one. So I know what books I'm going to read, but I don't know what I'm going to do lesson wise. So I did print off something that comes along with the Show Me books. This is just like a packet with activities. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of glance through it, see if there's something that strikes my fancy for Norman Didn't Do It. And then I'm going to also take a look at what they suggest for Shh, the Baby's Asleep. So let me go ahead and flip through, and then I'll chat with you about what I decide on. Okay, I just spent 15 minutes looking on the internet to try to find some activities that I actually liked, because the ones that were suggested, not my favorite. So here's what I think we're gonna do. So I did just purchase a packet, I guess, of activities that go with this book because Ryan T. Higgins is a pretty popular author, so there was a lot of stuff to choose from. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go through and pick something, and I'll share what exactly I'm gonna do with first and second once I look through the packet. But that's what I'm gonna do for this. For this one, I actually think, so one of the suggestions was to let them do a tear and glue house collage, but I don't have the time or the materials for that. So instead for this one, I am going to give pre-K just a house coloring sheet to do. But then I found a house outline, if you can see it right here, that I'll do with kindergarten, and we will go through and add the other things that the house needs, windows, a door, etc. And then we can also potentially draw people or whatever. I'll have to see, but I think that would be a little bit more appropriate than what they're telling us to do. I mentioned in one of my Week in My Teacher Life videos that the lessons that go with the building block books are very much geared towards a pre-K classroom where you have ample time to do activities. There's a lot of painting, cutting, gluing, all that kind of stuff, which would be great if I had the time and materials to do in the library, but I don't currently have that. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So this one, we'll just do a house picture. I'm gonna print them off, and then I'm going to take a look at the packet and pick one for this, and I will share with you what I choose. But right now I have a class that comes in 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pause this video and probably pick you back up once I'm back home, possibly tomorrow, and we'll go ahead and finish planning things out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring everything home with me. I'm gonna print these house ones off before I leave school. And then once I'm home, I will go through and finish up, talk you through everything, and also fill out my actual planner, which I have not done yet except to put the title of this one in. So that's the plan. I will see you like in like a few seconds for you, but probably tomorrow for myself. So this is just to take you through like the planning process. This one wasn't as clear cut as I was hoping it would be in terms of activities. So I'll share with you what I found when I pick you back up. Hello all, it is Saturday. I'm at home, as I mentioned. I'm gonna take you through the rest of my lesson planning. I've figured out what I'm gonna do with both first and second. For Norman didn't do it, so let's go ahead and chat about that. I'm just gonna show you like on my screen. I haven't printed them yet. I'm gonna just write down like the page numbers and print them when I get to school. But I'm going to go ahead and do a predicting lesson with second grade. And in this is the book, as I mentioned. So in this book, Norman is this hedgehog, and he is friends with a tree named Mildred. And at some point, another tree starts growing next to Mildred, and Norman gets very jealous of this tree, and he's worried like what's going to happen if Mildred likes the tree better than him, etc. So he decides to uproot the new tree and move it to a new island. And once he does that, Mildred, of course, is very sad about her new tree friend disappearing. And so Norman goes through like a personal crisis as he tries to figure out what he should do. And in the end, he goes and he gets the tree and he brings it back. And that's the story. So we're going to go ahead and do this predicting lesson. I bought this whole packet of activities to do because I'm thinking I can continue to use this book like in subsequent years. But here is what the sheet looks like. So basically, before we start reading, I'm going to take the kids on like a, oh, hold on, lighting, there we go. I'm going to take the kids on like a walk through the book. We're going to like preview it just briefly because obviously I don't want to spoil the story. I'm going to have them make a prediction about what they think the book is about, because there's a box that says before reading, so just based on the cover, we're going to make a prediction, and then I'm going to stop throughout and I'm going to have them make another prediction about what they think is going to happen, and that's what we're going to do. So basically they'll have a clipboard with this paper and a pencil on the carpet with us as we go through the lesson, and that's going to be the activity. So this one's going to take a little bit longer. I am concerned about my Friday class, which has a lot of behaviors in it. So most likely we're probably going to wind up with that class doing this at their tables because they do not handle being close to each other very well at all. So that's the only class that I'm like concerned about. The other four for second grade should be perfectly fine, and we'll just play it by ear and see how it goes. But that's going to be what we do with second grade for this. Now, first grade, I found a sequencing page. Let me kind of fit it to the screen. So here it is. So you can see it's got pictures and words, and then it's got the box. Fix the lighting. There we go. And we're going to cut and glue and put the story in order. So I think that's what we'll do for first grade. My only concern is that I am out Monday afternoon. So I'm going to have to leave this with the sub, which could potentially be a little rough. So for Monday's class, I might actually just do something simple, like they have a word search on here, and there's a coloring page that like the publisher, which is Disney, I believe, Disney Hyperion. Let me double check. Yes, Disney Hyperion. They've created a coloring page. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to leave for that class, just so that the sub is not having to deal with cutting and gluing, which can go very wrong very quickly with little kids. So I think that's what I'm going to do for Monday. But the other ones, I will be there, so we will do the sequencing activity. So that's what I'm going to do. As I mentioned, I'm not going to print any of this here. I'm going to go ahead and print it at school. But I'm going to go ahead and write that into my planner because that one is officially complete. Yay, one down, and then 2 grade levels left to go. I just, as I had mentioned, kind of already know what I'm doing with pre-K and kindergarten though. So let me write this one into my planner. I'll tip you down so you can follow along as I fill it out, and then we will close out by talking about pre-K and kindergarten's lessons, and then I will also go through and I am going to write Sorry, I keep disappearing. I am going to write down like when I said I was going to do each of the books. So I want to officially put that into my planner. I also have some assemblies coming up that are going to cut into some of our class time. So for instance, this Thursday, I have an assembly, which is going to cut into class time. And I believe there's like a couple more coming up, which I love that this school does more assemblies. My previous school really did not do like any assemblies. It was kind of weird, but this one has quite a few. The counselor like schedules them all and he sent them all out to us. So they're already on the calendar. So that's really great. So I'm going to fill those in as well, because obviously I'm going to need to make note of when we're not actually going to have class. Since I only have like a set number of weeks to read these books to them, I'm gonna need to make sure I can fit them in. So that's what we're gonna do in this next part. We're gonna fill out my planner and then I will chat with you again about pre-K and kindergarten. So here we go. Okay, so here's where I went ahead and just wrote down that this class is doing something different, but then the rest of them are gonna do the sequencing. I am teaching second grade, so that activity does not need to change, and then kindergartens is going to be easy because it's just going to be the house picture that I'd mentioned earlier. So I don't need to change anything with that one, but now I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of the week. Okay, so that is next week planned out. I am going to go ahead and like fill out this to-do list here because obviously I am out, so I'm going to need to do sub-plans. They're pretty much done. I just need to fill them out. So sub-plans, and then I think we have a staff meeting. Let me check the calendar. That is it for next week. So that's my to-do list. And then here's lessons. I'm gonna go ahead now and fill in the rest of the books for the remainder of the year so I can make sure I've got them all written down and fit in. So this is another full week. So I have gone ahead and picked out the book for both the Show Me and the Building Blocks. So for second grade, they are going to be reading the Bruce Swap. And first grade is also going to be reading the Bruce Swap. And then pre-K and kindergarten are doing a book called Don't Eat Bees. And now I'm going to go ahead and do that literally for the rest of the semester. Now, this is a short week. We do not have students Thursday or Friday, so this is one where I'm going to have to start like carrying some things over. So for the first 3 classes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for kindergarten, I am going to be able to read the book, which is called I'm Terrified of Bath Time. And I'm going to be able to do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I am not going to be able to do that Thursday or Friday because we do not have school Thursday or Friday. So this is another short week because we have conferences and we have no school on Friday. So I will be able to do it with Thursday's class. And I'm going to be able to do it with this pre-K. But I'm still missing Friday, so that's going to be the next week. That's where things get a little strange. So I can fit it in here for those last 2 classes. And then I'll just have to fill in the rest of them like with other ones because we also don't have school Monday of this week, so there's no full weeks. Now the next week is election day, so there's no school either of these 2 days. So again, it's a short week, but I am gonna fit in one of the books here on Wednesday, which is called Lou. I believe Lou is a fire hydrant, I think. And then I can do them with this, with both pre-Ks, so that one will be done. But I will have to continue it into the next week for the other 2 classes. And then here is that other week. Now this is book fair week, which I have not put on here, but this is when I'm doing the book fair. So doing lessons during the book fair is kind of hard, but you know, we make it work because this is the book fair that whole week. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do Lou again for these 2. And if we look back at the show me's, I did not schedule any of the show me books because I have longer to get through the show me's, so they should be fine. Then this is the week of Thanksgiving. We do not have school. And then we're back with another full week here, so that's where I've put another show me book. We're going to do Thankful, which is all about being thankful for things. So, you know, ties in well with Thanksgiving. Okay, and then for pre-K and kindergarten, we're doing a book called Mel Fell. Okay, so that's done. We have the next week, which is December. And this is a full week. So we are doing A Walk in the Words. Kindergarten and pre-K are doing One Sheep, Two Sheep. Okay, the next one is also a full week. So the one we're doing that week is called People Are Wild. And then second and first are doing What Can You Do with a Rock? Okay, now obviously I have not planned out the activities to go along with the books. I've just simply planned out when I'm reading the book. So I will be doing probably one plan with me per month, and that's when I'll kind of go into the activities. But right now I'm just making sure I can fit it all in. Okay, now this next week is a short week because this is when we go out on winter break. We don't have school here. And then we come back on Thursday. So I don't think I put anything for that week. I did not. I actually have scheduled all of those in. So that's perfect because this will be the week that we vote. This week right here. So I'm going to make myself a note of that. Now for the show me's, I have a little bit longer. So I think I did schedule something. Yep, I did. Hugo and the Impossible Thing. And then I also have one more book for them, which I've put for this week. And then everything should be checked off. So we will do voting most likely this first week, but I'm not going to write that in yet because I cannot remember when we have days off. So I'll leave that one blank. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and show you the house coloring pages. So I found this one. It's hard to see because this site has like 50,000 advertisements and stuff, but it's just a simple house coloring sheet that I'm going to have pre-K do because it's easier for them just to color things in. And then for kindergarten, I found this one, which is more of like a template, and then it's got the word house up at the top that they can trace, and then we're going to go ahead and add like doors and windows and things like that as more of like a directed drawing type thing. So that will be what we do for pre-K and kindergarten next week to go along with this book right here. So this book is all about a family who's attempting to get the baby asleep, and each time someone makes noise, they're like, shh, the baby's asleep. And then at the end, the baby wakes up right here, and the little boy decides to read a book to the baby. So that is this book. So that's a very simple activity for K and pre-K. And that's it, y'all. That is my Plan With Me video for the week of September 25th through 29th. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.